Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a very fine line between a shopping addicted makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. Now, I really enjoy eyeshadow singles, duochromes, multichromes, blush, highlight, lip gloss, basically everything except pressed glitter. And today I want to compare my 2016 ride or die favorites to my 2023 ride or die favorites. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me. We're getting into it right now. Okay, so back in 2016 was when I first kind of started, like 2015-ish, I started dipping into makeup, and by 2016 I felt confident enough that I had tried enough things to sort of make a ride or die list for myself. And back then I didn't have a channel, so this was literally me and a friend of mine just like BSing around, right? But back then, the primer that I was ride or die for was the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. And I actually think I still have a box. I still have an unused ride or die from well, that one's not from 2016, but my 2016 pick, ride or die. But now in 2023, I like the NYX Marshmallow Primer a lot better. I think it's got like a really soft, like bouncy kind of texture to it, and it does smell kind of very, very subtly of like a vanilla marshmallowy kind of scent. So for me, the ride or die primer definitely made it come up. Next, for foundation, back in 2016, I wrote the Tarte BB Primer, which did not even match me. Like this freaking BB primer did not even match me, but I would use it and just use a small amount and add some like moisture from, you know, a lotion or something like that to kind of balance it a little bit better. The other one that I put up was the Lumi True Match, which I don't even remember anymore. It's been that long since I've used it. But now, what I really like is the Urban Decay Hydro Maniac. I think this is a great tinted moisturizer. It's very hydrating, and although it is a little warm for me, it's pretty easy to correct it. This look that I have on right now has this as my foundation, but I did not color correct it just so that you guys could see kind of the color as it stands. And then some interesting things. So there was a bunch of categories that I didn't even put back in 2016 because I wasn't using those products because I didn't know what I was doing just yet with them. But one of those was concealer. So the concealer that I would say is my ride or die now would be the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I suggest this to anybody with dry skin to kind of put under the eyes. I use a small amount. I use a small sponge and just kind of tap it out to sort of blend it out across my face, and I think it does a really nice job. But back then I was not using concealer at all. The other thing I didn't use back then, where did it go? Oh, there it is. The other thing I didn't use back then was brows, or any brow products, but the one that I've been really liking recently is the Tarte Sketch and Set. So it's got this teeny tiny like brow mascara wand on one side, and then the other side is just a pencil. This is the shade Black Brown, but I do have it, I think, in like a medium cool toned brown shade as well. But I really, really like these. It's not the brow product I'm wearing today. Today I'm actually using the Mad For You Brows custom palette that I did with that I made and purchased on Sydney Grace's website. So I was testing out some of these powders for the first time. The eye look is from their Heaven on Earth palette too, which should be coming very soon. All right. Next up, let's talk about eyeshadow stuff. So back in 2016, the eyeshadow primer I was using was the 24-Hour Shadow Insurance from Too Faced in the shade Champagne, and now I have definitely escalated my game. I will tell you my ride or die is this NYX Pigment Primer, which they stopped making, and I'm very upset about it. So now I'm in the process of trying out a bunch of different primers to try to figure out a good replacement for this one. But if you guys know anything that's similar to this in terms of the ingredient deck, please comment below. And back then I did not use any glitter glue for my shimmers, but now I use almost exclusively the glitter primer from Pastel Roses UK. I really like this primer. I did see that they're rebranding right now, and so I'm hoping that this product will remain the same and that they're just rebranding like packaging, because if they change that glitter glue, I'm gonna be all right. And for eyeshadow, the two palettes that were kind of my ride or die back then were the original Too Faced Chocolate Bar and the original peach, like sweet peach palette that they did. I do still have both of those palettes from back then. They're kind of like memory palettes. I can't get rid of them, right? But I would say the eyeshadows that are kind of my ride or die now would be all of my multi-chromes. So these are not all, but these are definitely a big chunk of my multi-chrome eyeshadows, and those eyeshadows I use all of the time. So I would have to say, like, out of everything in my collection, I don't have one palette that is like my ride or die, but my multi-chromes to kind of accent or like hyper sparkle everything that I'm wearing, that is a ride or die for me. All right, next up is mascara, and this is the funny part. So back in 2016, I was like ride or die for Too Faced, apparently, because I've got their shadow insurance, I had their primer, I had their palettes, and I had their mascara. So the mascara that I picked for my ride or die back then was the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and it had that sort of like hourglass wand, right? Now, the one that I've completely switched up to is this Milani. This is the lash extending, no, what are you called? Highly Rated Lash Extensions Tubing Mascara. I love this mascara. I literally have backups of other mascaras that are not tubing mascaras that I have not opened, and I've skipped over them, ready to open this one instead, because I like this tubing mascara so much. It is so nice, and it's so easy to take off at the end of the night. You don't get all the like panda eyes all over your face. It literally just wipes off with the warm water, and then you're good to go. Next up was lashes. So back in 2016, I was wearing a lot of the Eylure lashes, and I do think they're a really great quality lash. Now I don't wear lashes as often, but if I do, I'm either going for something magnetic, which this is an example. Eylure also makes some really phenomenal magnetic lashes, but I don't have any of the packaging left over from those, but they come in a predominantly gold and black package. But these I like. And then if I'm gonna do a strip lash, I actually really like this Kiss You Do You lash, but I think this might have been limited edition last year because I haven't seen these recently in stores. So for me, those would be my ride or dies, but I'm not necessarily wearing lashes that often. Blush. Okay, so another Too Faced. Back then I had the Love Flush blush palette, which was a like horizontal palette of I think 6 blushes that Too Faced made in the heart-shaped packaging, and obviously I decluttered that a while ago, but the one that I have really been drawn to recently are the ColourPop Super Shock Cheeks, and this is just 2 shades that I pulled out. Cheerio, this was from the the Wine and Only collection, and then this one is Just Rosy, which was from the Snow White collection. And I've just really been liking how easy they are to apply. They blend out really nicely on the cheeks. So they are kind of one of my new ride or dies. So back in 2016, I was also still under the false impression that Jaclyn Hill was a decent human being. And at that point, I had this particular palette, which was her face palette. And it had this shade in here called Prosecco Pop. And it was this kind of like peachy gold highlighter. It's obviously not even the right skin tone for me, but I always thought it was so pretty. I used it with a light hand and I really liked how it looked. But now my ride or die highlighters, I would say I have 2. One is still available, one isn't. So that's why I'm showing you 2. The first one, these are not available anymore, but these are the Aether Beauty highlighters, and they have like almost a ColourPop Super Shock kind of quality to them, and they just pick up so nicely even just on your fingers. And then like this one in particular is my favorite. Like look how almost wet looking that is. It's just ridiculous how pretty that is. So that has definitely become my new ride or die favorite highlighter formula. And then another highlighter formula that I really like that is still available is the Fenty Beauty. This is the How Many Carats Kilowatt Diamond highlighter. And it's one of these like sparkly topper type highlighters. and it looks like that. So you can see it's just got a lot of like piecey sparkly bits to it. It's not like a full-on metallic sheen of a highlighter, but I really, really like those two highlighters, especially together. All right, so then contour. Back in 2016, I really liked the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the light shade, the lightest shade, and I used that as bronzer and contour. In 2023, though, we've definitely come a ways up from that. One of my favorite Ride or Die bronzers is the Heat Wave from Flower Beauty. This is a really beautiful bronzer, and I feel like it works really well, especially if you're not super warm toned. Because if your undertone is cool, then you need something that's a little bit softer. Now this obviously was like a huge chunk of bronzer. I obviously wouldn't pick that much up for my face, but I think it's a really nice like soft color for somebody with a cooler undertone. And then for straight up contour, I have this little Sephora single. This is called Second Chance N35, and it is just a single contour powder, and it works beautifully. Blends so nicely. All right, so for lip products back then, I only had two Ride or Dies that I mentioned. It was the Lipstick Queen Saint Pinky Nude, which was just a very soft kind of sheen pink nude shade, and lip gloss was NARS Orgasm. And for my current day favorites, I have a couple more things to mention. So in terms of like lippy sticks or lip liners, I wanted to mention the Orchid shade from the Lippy Sticks collection. This was from the Orchid You Not collection, but it is the shade called Orchid, and it's just this really deep plummy berry shade. I really, really like that one. And then I pulled my Lunar Beauty lip liners because they are really, really nice lip liners. I have the shades Snack and Milk Tea. This is Milk Tea. This is Snack. Snack is the lip liner that goes with Mystic, and Milk Tea is the lip liner that goes with, what do you call it, Icon. That was the duo that Manny like hyped up a lot. And then the other lippy pencil that I really like is Oh Snap from ColourPop. That's what I'm wearing as my lip liner today. And it's a very, very pretty lip liner, nice and smooth. For lipsticks, obviously I went with the Lunar lipsticks. I love the packaging, the like little push button and it pops out feature is pretty cool. And then I love all the like little stars, and I love all the like stars and moons and stuff that they have on the packaging, or on the actual bullet itself, I should say. So those were my lipstick picks. For lip gloss and lip oil, the thing that I picked out was actually the Saint Jane. This is the shade Mystic. Really? Wow, a lot of Mystic things here. Apparently purple is a really mysterious color. So this is the Mystic shade, and I love how like intensely rich it is, but you can sheer it out if you would like. So I think that is a really beautiful lip oil, and it's not like sticky and goopy like some glosses. And then last but not least, I wanted to mention makeup remover. So on my 2016 Ride or Die makeup list, the makeup remover that I selected as my primo top of the line fan favorite was Burt's Bees makeup wipes. And I just have to laugh at myself because we all know that makeup wipes do not do a very good job of removing makeup. And back then I did not know about cleansing and moisturizing and exfoliating the way I do now. So to see that just made me cackle, and I was like, I need to do a video talking about my old favorites because I need to just laugh about that. And now I know much better, and I use this stuff, which is the Vanilla Clean It Zero. This is the like super size, I think it's like 27 ounces or something, of the original, but there's a bunch of different like other versions you can get for different skin concerns. I tried the vitamin C one because I thought it would smell so good, and it does. It smells like orange juice or high C, like it smells really good, but it irritated my skin. So I don't know if it was just enough vitamin C that kind of broke me out, or if it was interacting with some of the other actives I was using. But I like the original stuff. It's really nice. This one I have used up entirely. I have another one almost done in my bathroom, and I have a backup sitting over here on the corner. So obviously it's a favorite. Alright, and with that said, I think that is everything for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!